Why, hello everyone, we're back once again. We're going to talk about a few things. First off, old angle. Second off, Death Guard's back. Third thing, there's some about Tally. I don't like Tallyman. There's a reason why I don't have one. And we'll compare him to two elite selections I have on deck. Well, I have the other elite selections on deck. Oh, look, Bell Guy and one of my favorite two elite selections. Here's one of my favorite two elite selections. We'll compare him to these two dudes for reasons, and we'll go over his profile. He's a 57-point model, 62 points when you count in his plasma guppin. His plasma guppin. It's actually a fish that shoots plasma at people. So it's kind of like a towel weapon. No, it's plasma gun. When you account for that, he's 62 points all told because he has no other weapons, and that is what, in the end, is his ultimate downfall. Is that he doesn't have any other weapons besides that freaking plasma gun. And plasma guns are okay. Plasma pistols are okay. But they got to be within 12, and maybe you stand odds of not hitting a single shot with your plasma pistol the entire fucking game. Pretty decent ones, too. I've seen it a lot. So, given 3 or 4 rounds and 3 or 4 misses, that plasma pistol is useless. So his entire weapon selection is fucking pointless. So, there's another guy who doesn't have any melee weapons in this squad. But let's go over the frame before we could do the comparison. So for 57 points, you get 5-inch movement, 3 up, weapon and ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 5, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8. You got Death of the False Emperor, disgustingly resilient, festering zealot, which is the rerolls within 7, so basically the chaplain rule, and sevenfold champ. Whenever you do a stratagem on a roll of a 7, you get your command points back. Now, the thing is, he's got the chaplain abilities, but no melee weapon, which means he's stabbing people with a friggin' ritual knife. Come on. Come on, man. Just a friggin' ritual knife, that's it. So, that's the downside. All 3 of those attacks are going into nothing. Chaplains are super tasty because they have those delicious Crozius Arcanums. I like those. I like melee weapons. He would even be decent if he had a, plague knife. So comparison into what their command ability is supposed to do and how they fill it in a combat field role, I think he's already kind of a step behind his Space Marine counterpart, the Chaplain, because his complete lack of melee threat. It's not that his weapon isn't there. It's just it's not that threatening. I don't think anybody's scared of 3 attacks at strength 4, AP nothing, damage 1. I'm gonna get you. I'm going to hit you with 1, I'll hit you with 2, wound 1, and you're going to save it. And then I'll do a wound every other turn with a maybe. I'm going to get you. Who he compares against is the guy we were just painting. Because this guy also doesn't have a melee weapon. But you know what he does have? Friggin' Super Flamer. I put him out in the front of my squads because of his threat. At a certain point, when they're shooting his mostly been relegated to bolt guns, I stick him out in the front. I'm like, do it. I put the -1 on him. Charge him. I dare, and nah. And I get it. I wouldn't charge him either. I just really want to shoot that flamer because I'm in love with the Coco when it comes to that flamer. So, comparing the complete lack of being engaged in melee combat to this guy because of his threat and the threat presented by the Crozius Arcanum in combat by a chaplain, Because really, to do any of their command benefits, both the chaplain and this guy have to be within a complete threat range of the enemy. This guy has to generally be like within the charge. But the thing is, the big deal is that his ranged is way more threatening than that plasma pistol that you might not hit a damn thing with. Yeah, you could house this thing a couple turns in a row, but at least you're gonna hit something, and it's plague weapon, so you're gonna reroll. That Tallyman ain't got no plague weapon. He doesn't even interact with the rest of your army on the plague weapon level. So when you're looking at it for plague weapons, he can fucking kick rocks. And maybe you'll give him Fulgaris' helm to keep him outside of that 7-inch strike bubble, but really, the reason why we're comparing him to this guy is because the other Fulgaris' helm candidate is this guy, which gives you a 6-inch medic and still the 10-inch Arch Contaminator. So what you're trading is a 7-inch melee hit bubble, which is only a slight pickup from your Demon Prince, which is in there giving your guys hits on rerolls hits on ones. And since they hit on 3, and your only misses are going to be 2s at that point, you can sort of mitigate a lot of your misses in a certain way. But, converting that 2 isn't bad at all. So that's, like I said, that's the way I can consider this command benefit. But also when you consider his command benefit as compared to also the chaplain allowing people to use his leadership and the fairly unlikely chance you're going to get your command points back, he's starting to fall further and further behind it in the point selection. When you realize that a Plague Marine's 17 points, it's getting tough. It's getting tough out here to be a tally man in Nurgle. It's getting tough out here to be a tally man. So, yeah. No melee weapons. There's other elite selections that you're going to give the Fulgaris' helm to get them outside of combat more. Other melee selections that don't have the melee weapon, but they have other ways of, like, yeah, you want it? Get this flamer. And then they have yet still the chaplain, who, and I would argue, his second benefit is better because it's going to come into effect much more, and it's very good in melee combat when you're going to be maybe have a giant squad that loses a bunch of people. So having higher leadership isn't the worst as compared to another command benefit that's never going to activate. At the end of the day, it's hard out here to tally, and there's something about it. I'm out.